All right. Welcome to Fugitive TV. Here we go. This is going to be the last episode where I tell you about a little bit about my story. You know, if you followed the first two episodes or seen any of the Instagram videos or my TikTok, you know that I was a fugitive for 15 years on the run. I changed my name a bunch of times. I left the guys off on the part two video. This is part three. If you haven't seen the other two videos, please go back and look so that way you know exactly what happened with my story. Please subscribe. If you have any comments or questions, answer them down below. Anything, I will try to respond back to everybody. Stay tuned, all right? Fugitive TV. So, where I left off was, I just left the halfway house. My son passed away. They wouldn't let me go to the grave to go see him. They let me go to the grave. Sorry, they let me go to the grave. I got there and it was closed and I didn't get to see his grave. So I ended up leaving the halfway house. You guys have to go look at the other video so you can get the full story of that. So when I leave the halfway house, the first thing I do is I pretty much leave the state the very next day. I go to Vegas. So I'm in Vegas, pretty much almost drinking every day. I'm doing a lot of things, that I shouldn't be doing. I'm drinking every day. I'm hanging out with people I shouldn't be hanging out with. I'm in Vegas hanging out on Fremont Street. If y'all even know anything about Fremont Street and MLK, you don't want to be hanging around these areas. So I'm over there. Anyways, I'm there for maybe about 3 months, maybe four. I don't remember. I'm just, chilling, doing dumb shit. And I'm hanging out with this girl. This girl was on the run from probation violation out of a different state. Me and her hanging out. Well, she ended up getting in trouble, and when she got in trouble, the police came. I was there. Now, at this time, I didn't have any IDs or anything under my name or anything like that. So when they came, they basically questioned her. She tossed her ID. Some sort of something happened. I'm not sure. They start questioning me if I know who she is. Now I'm praying to God they don't ask me anything. So next thing you know, they're trying to ask me my information. I'm not giving them much of anything. So I kind of end up in a way squeezing and talking my way out of that situation. Once I do that, I left. Now she went to jail. I never saw her again. I don't know what happened. I left. So I went out to the East Coast, went out to New York. Now, I went out to New York. I didn't know what the hell to do with myself, man. I didn't know what to do. There was a lot of shit that was going on. And of course, and I'm like thinking I have no life. I lost my kid, no reason to live. So I ended up, pretty much like, finding, some pills or whatever. And when I found these pills, now I was hanging out with some people out there that I shouldn't have been hanging out with either. Now, so when I found these pills, I took a lot of pills. I was trying to end my life. That was the honest God truth. So I ended up waking up in the hospital. When I woke up in the hospital, my life didn't end. So then I'm sitting there thinking like, dang, I tried to end my life. I tried to do this. I can't do nothing right. So something just hit me. A light turned on my head. And basically the light was telling me, hey, if your son was alive, would you want him to live like this right now? And I had to sit there and think for a minute. And I thought for a second, I was like, no, I wouldn't want him to live like this. So I vowed to myself, I promised to myself that when I get out of this situation or this hospital, I'm going to change my situation and do whatever it takes to change it and live life like how I wanted him to live if he was still alive. So once I got out the hospital, I had to try and make some money. So I started going to places where it looks like they were painting, doing construction. I started just asking everybody, hey, I'll help you paint if you pay me money. And pretty much just by doing that and asking that, they were like, sure, I need the help, but I can only pay you this much. I was taking whatever I can get. Even sometimes maybe like $4 an hour, $5 an hour, whatever it was. But I was taking what I can get because I needed some money. So I got some money together. A lot of these places that I was painting, they would leave at the end of the night. I would end up just staying and spend the whole night there, wake up in the morning, act like I wasn't there, and then they would come in and I would meet them. That's pretty much what I was doing. So I got some money together. I actually went to an area where there was a bunch of like homeless people and pretty much weren't doing a lot. And when I went there, I actually started offering to pay people till I can use their name. That's pretty much what I did. So I would find somebody who was about the same age as me. I would find if they had any, let's say, warrants, any felonies. I would just straight up ask them, and then I would pay them, and then I would tell them, hey, if I mess up in your name, there is proof that you didn't do it. If I go to jail, there's proof. There's a mugshot, so you don't have to worry. They had nothing else to lose. So that is what happened. And then from there, I started traveling. I would take the Greyhound bus to one of the southern states like North Carolina or South Carolina, and I would just get a driver's license because not all the states connect. Even down there, they don't even do a thumbprint or a fingerprint. So they didn't connect. I never had a license there, so I didn't have to worry about it. So I would go there, get a driver's license, and just come back. That's all I did. So I did that a few times and got different names. So I'm working it out there. I'm working and, doing my best I can. I end up getting an apartment. I end up doing a lot of things. So eventually I wanted to go to school. So I was like, how am I going to go to school? I can't really go to school out here because we have to ask for a transcript. So we have to ask where I graduated from. I can't give them any of that. So my mind, my imagination was like, let's flee the country. Let's go to Canada. So I ended up going into a Canadian embassy that was in there and basically got a documents to go to school in Canada. So I crossed the border, I go to Canada, and that was how I got there. I changed my whole life by then. I didn't go up there to commit any crimes. I was going up there to go to school. I met friends. I started doing a lot of things up there on the positive side. I even started getting into music because when I was a teen, I was doing a lot of music stuff. I was a dancer first. I was writing a lot of music. I was competing. I was doing a lot of things in my earlier years. So when I got up there, I was like, I'm in a whole new country. Let me just be myself and let me just be the person I know I can be and continue living life. So I started doing music. I remember I even won, it was a tournament called the Battle of the Bands in Toronto. I remember winning that. And the winner got to have a recording contract. I can't remember the label. It was a Canadian label. And I had to turn the damn thing down because I didn't want my face to get out there that big. Yeah, I know it's weird. I shouldn't be doing it in the first place. But hey, I wanted some sort of happiness, right? So I'm up there, I'm living life, I'm doing what I can do. My visa's up, and when my visa's up, I have to come back to the States. I come back to the States. When I come back, I go back to New York. I'm working. I'm doing what I can do. I go down and visit some friends where I live now in Florida. I find out it's cheaper to live in Florida. So I go back up to New York. I pack my stuff, come back down to Florida. Now, when I come back down to Florida, I'm working 2 or 3 jobs. I'm working I'm doing what I can to survive. Now, all this time, I actually wanted to start a business, but I didn't know what the hell to start. I didn't know what to do. So you got to remember, I'm also doing this while under a different name, and I'm on the run. So I'm crossing the borders under a different name, and I'm on the run. And this is what I'm doing while I'm on the run. And a lot of people aren't doing this living a regular life. But this is my mindset. I wanted to change the way I think, and I wanted to change my life. So when I'm in Florida, I figured, hey, I want to start a business. Now, I was selling cars for a little bit. I got in finance. I was working at a car rental place. I was even working at an aquarium with animals and endangered dolphins. I was doing a lot. And every single one of these places that I applied for, I managed to talk my way into the position. I managed to sell myself very good. So while I'm down here, I ended up meeting a woman. We got married. When we got married, now we got married under my other name, not my real name. She didn't even know my real name. She didn't know any of this stuff. So that's another kicker. So we're down here. We're doing good. We opened up our first business. Now, I have a relative of mine who I kind of stayed in contact with, right? Now, the relative of mine, when I came down to Florida, see, he changed his name. Now, if you don't know this, you can go to the court and just change your name, right? And you just have to report, you say Social Security, your new documents, and they give you no Social Security card and things like that. He changed his name. So he goes, hey, while you're down there, this is what I'm going to do for you. How about you take my old name? I still got social security card. I still got birth certificate. You take that and you be my old self. I said, cool, dandy. I go be his name. He said, but you have to at least change my credit score. My credit's like in the 500s. So I said, that's all right. So, man, I take this guy's name. I start doing wonders with it. He had an 800 credit score by the time I was done. He had credit cards up to ass. He had a lot of stuff that he could have did because I helped him out, right? But anyways, he got too greedy. And I was not giving him everything that he was asking for. So what does he do? He tells on me. He told on me. He wrote a letter to the authorities pretty much. They come knocking at my door. They knock at my door asking questions, who I am, things like that. They take me into jail. They say that, I'm not the person that I say that I am. It was all kind of things that went on. Now, the funny thing is they fingerprinted me. Prints are not coming back up or any of that stuff. Now, I know why they weren't coming back up. They don't know why, but I know why. Maybe we'll talk about that later, okay, if you guys have questions about that. But prints are not coming back up. They were printing me right there at my house. Then they took me to jail, printing me in jail. Nothing came up right away. So they booked me, and the next thing you know, they give me a bond. They give me the bond. I bond out of jail, right? Next day, actually not even next day, a few hours later, detectives call me, tell me I'm not supposed to be bonded out of jail. They're supposed to keep me to jail messed up during shift change. So instead of running again, I end up just saying, forget it, turn myself in. Here I am. They found out who I was eventually. They interrogated me for, I think it was 3 or 4 days straight. They had all kind of people coming down from Homeland Defense, people, FBI agent was questioning me. They were questioning me about how I did everything, even how I crossed the border. They wanted to know all these details because they were like, if you were a terrorist, you could have really did damage. I was even working at an airport in New York. So they were like, how did you get this job? How did you pass security and do everything that you did? So I had to give them the details of the stuff I did. And from me giving those details, they didn't prosecute me with any more charges. And since I went 15 years and didn't do any, I didn't really hurt anybody. I was just trying to live a life. They said this kid changed himself and let me go on my way. So, the state of Colorado came and got me. Extradited me back to Colorado. I faced a judge. Actually, I hire a really good attorney, one of the best attorneys there is. He was expensive. I hire him. He helped me out a lot. Now, I had an escape charge. That's my second escape charge. He got my escape charge dropped to absconding, which was not a felony anymore. It turned into a misdemeanor. That saved me because I would have stayed with that escape charge. I was looking at 12 years. Every attorney in Colorado was saying they can get me 4 to 6 years. I called the public defender. He told me a deal for 24 years because I had to serve 12 years escape plus my original sentence, which the original sentence was another 10. So I was looking at over 20 years when I contacted the public defender. Nope, I wanted to hire a lawyer. Now, I prepared my mind to do some prison time. I prepared my mind that, hey, if they can get me time served, I probably would just be right out on parole or maybe go do 6 months and be done if I can get at least 4 years, So this attorney got that escape charge drop. Once he got that drop, it was great. Went to court. The judge wanted to hear my whole story from beginning to end. And when I was a kid, I spent 20 minutes telling the judge my full entire story, and he listened to everything I had to say. And at the end of everything I said, he told me that the Department of Corrections should be saved for people who need corrected. He felt that I didn't need to be corrected, that I already corrected myself. And he had empathy for my story. And thanks to him, he told me, he said, you can go home. And he just gave me probation. Said, go back to Florida, transfer your probation there. And he actually still gave me jail time. He gave me to serve, I think it was 45 days in jail. That was it. He said, serve 45 more days. So that way you can sit and think about everything you did and that it could have been worse. I gladly took that. I went back. I started working in the kitchen. It cuts your jail time in half. And also, this was during the pandemic. So they were letting people go early. So they even let me go earlier than 45 days. I think I served another 4 weeks and I was done. Came back home. That was it. And now I'm here telling my story because I can finally tell you guys, and I can tell you guys my life has been fantastic up to now. Now, what I'm trying to do now is I want to get my life into the film. I want to start a documentary. I want to do a lot of things. If you're a filmmaker, you know any filmmakers, please let me know. I need somebody to write a synopsis. Can't even say the word for my story, okay? I need a lot of things. I'm investing in a lot of business. I'm going to use this channel to teach you guys things, and I'm also going to react to other fugitives that are out there. I'm going to bring you stories that maybe other people aren't bringing you, or maybe other people aren't talking about, but I'm going to bring you stories about what they could be doing and what they could be doing better and what they're not doing. So I want you guys to stay tuned because we're not done here. Fugitive TV, like, subscribe, leave a question, a comment, and I'm going to answer everybody. You guys take care. Peace.